Yeah, the productivity is insane. Like even when I was working the 70, 80 hours a week, I'm doing like almost like probably like 25% more of the work that I would be doing in like 10 hours less.
All right, assalamu alaikum. Welcome to this video. If you're here right now, you might be watching this and thinking, is it possible for me to lose 30 or more pounds while working 80 hours a week? I have to work so much. I got a family. I got all these other time constraints. There's no way in the world I can work out. I guess I just better give up and not be happy with my body, with my health, and with my energy and everything else. Not feel good about my body and ultimately disrespect the amana that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given me. Maybe that's the path of logic that you're going down right now. But today I want to give you some inspiration and bring on a special guest who has lost 32 pounds while working 80 hours a week as a paralegal while studying. He's got so much on his plate, but he decided that he wasn't going to tolerate excuses for himself, and he committed to going all in, setting boundaries on the old excuses in his mind and the other obstacles he was facing, and ultimately completely crushing it. And today I want to celebrate his wins and give him a chance to share his story while also giving you, the viewer, some inspiration to take charge of your health and finally stop making excuses and to see what's possible. So inshallah, Brother Jawad, thanks for being on, my brother.
No problem, Jazakallah khair for having me and excited to discuss this stuff and inshallah get some people motivated and lose the fat, inshallah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. And Jazakallah khair for being here. So
Crazy.
tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do for work? How many hours do you week? And do you
Yeah,
work?
yeah. So I'm a paralegal. I've been a paralegal for the past 3 years, and I've been in the legal field for about 4.5 years now. Uh, Basically, what I do is I work as a lawyer's assistant, so I help them with, generating lawsuits, filing lawsuits, drafting lawsuits, pretty much anything that a law firm does, I'm really involved in. And since I work at a solo practitioner's law firm, I'm doing a lot of like HR stuff, a lot of team management, things like that. And I'm working like, 70 to 80 hours a week, both in the office and out of the office. A lot of the stuff, as small businesses go, a lot of the stuff happens off the clock. So we're doing a lot of that stuff as well. I also study. I was a full-time student until I graduated just a couple months ago in June. And I was taking about 14 to 16 credits a term at Portland State University. I got my BS in political science, and I'm also studying for the law school admissions test, which I'm taking in October, inshallah. Inshallah, I make dua that I pass. So trying to get into law school, but that's kind of what's been on my plate this whole time. Fitness was not on my plate until just a couple months ago. So alhamdulillah, we got that on there as well.
Alhamdulillah, absolutely. So, there's a lot of different things to celebrate here, man. Like, I'm just super proud of you because you really made some big changes despite a lot of obstacles that were in your path. And, we could dive through all of them today, but what was the biggest thing that motivated you to want to change when we first got started?
Oh yeah, the biggest thing for me was just the confidence aspect of like I've never been when I started in February, I was like, I've never been this big in my life. I come from a background where, I played sports my whole life. I played varsity tennis in high school, played football, played basketball, all these things. And when I got to that point, I was like, my confidence is destroyed, having, mental health issues, not having good self-image. And I've never felt like that in my life before. I've always been super confident, super outgoing, extroverted. So to see myself in that state, took a lot of like self-reflecting and like introspection into how I've been dealing with things. And the biggest thing that it came down to was I lack the confidence, and it's largely due to the way that I look, and I'm not confident in the way that I look with for myself, basically.
100%. And did you find that at that time when you were, 30 pounds heavier, that your energy levels weren't as good as they are right now?
Oh yeah, not at all. I was always tired. One thing with work was that I was always sleep deprived as well because I couldn't manage my time well. And that's also something that I've gained as a skill throughout, having fitness being a central core part of my life, like no compromise kind of aspect, which is managing time. So yeah, like I was no low energy, not in a good mental state, and that's really what motivated me because I was like, I have to get back to what I was before, but also I have to be better than that because I'm getting older, and as I get older, I should be getting better, not getting worse.
100%. That's well said. And it's kind of like, you don't want to, like, you're pursuing, you're working so hard in your career because you want to reach your full potential. But if that comes at the expense of, how much of your potential you're utilizing in other areas, then, it's counterproductive in some ways. So,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, for sure. Like it's no problem making 100 grand, but if that's coming at the expense of your mental health and also your mental state and your physical well-being, then you only have one body, but you always have a million chances to make money. So take care of that body is definitely the kind of mindset that I wanted to approach this with.
100%. So it was an interesting journey with you because you started losing weight really, really fast from the beginning.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think those first couple weeks we dropped like 10 pounds out of like it was kind of like we started at 225 or 220, something around that. And then within like the first couple of weeks we dropped like I think 10, 15 pounds. And that was like amazing to see because a lot of that was just like being bloated perpetually for like the past like months that I was not eating right and not optimized, not working out. Also due to COVID, like that huge break that I had in like physical activity. Once I got back to it, I realized like these are things that work best for me. This is the diet that works best for me. So not being bloated and not having that kind of just, the water weight, seeing that kind of leave my body was really amazing because I felt the load come off, right? Like 10, 15 pounds is like you feel it when it comes off. It's like, wow, like I can actually move faster now.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Plus, when your nutrition is good as part of getting that bloat down, you have more energy in general, so it starts to translate in a positive way. And
Right,
I actually want
exactly.
to. Are you able to see my screen right now? I'm trying to screen share your graph. Can you see it?
It is, nope, not right now.
Let me try real quick. Can you see it right now?
It says it's starting. Oh, there we go. We're good now.
Oh, perfect. Okay, cool. Yeah, I just want to share your graph. So, like, I mean, you initially dropped like in the first like week and a half from 220 to 211 or 212,
Yeah.
then again to 206.
Yeah.
And then we got down 20 pounds actually in the first like 2 months, which was crazy. Actually, less than two
Right.
months, February 23rd to April 16th. And we spent a little bit of time like gaining some muscle there, plus with breathe and everything. That
Yeah,
was kind of
definitely.
fun.
Yeah.
And then like kind of gaining muscle for a while. And we went back into fat loss. We actually made a switch. And it was interesting because you said, at this point you found what works best for you diet wise, but then we did have to switch it up. And I think this is when we started carb cycling to break through this plateau, right?
hmm Yep. That's when we started the carb cycle.
Mm. So it's kind of interesting. I just want to use this as a teaching moment because number one, like the points that I want people to take away from this interview are like no matter what obstacles you're facing, you can't make excuses because you have to have that reality check with yourself and realize that I mean, there's so many different levels. Like for Jawad, again, it was the confidence was kind of the first thing where it's like feeling like he wasn't the best version of himself versus where he knew he was before and where he knew he could be and where he is now, mashallah. And there's also the energy aspect where it's like, okay, if you're working 8 hours a week, you better have the energy to perform during those 80 hours instead of feeling burnt out, tired, drained all the time. And then, health wise, as you get older, you want to get better. And also just like Islamically, there's actually a lot of different things. Cause like, so obviously like when you get older, you don't want to have like knee problems when you're trying to pray and then you're stuck in a chair, but you're only like 40 or 50, right?
Right.
But you also don't want to have like, health problems. And you also don't want to, disrespect the body that Allah has given you because Allah only gives you one body, right? So there's a lot of different reasons. That's kind of the first takeaway I want people to have. But the second one is also like the strategy, right? So it's like the same diet isn't going to work forever per se. And it also needs to be sustainable. Like how many times a week do you eat Dave's hot chicken?
Probably like once a week at this point. I'd stopped for a little bit in the beginning because I wanted to see those results. And I was like, I can also eat the food that I like and make these gains because the rest of my diet is really dialed in and optimized. So when I do have that cheat meal, it's not only rewarding, but it's also like I can have this and also lose weight. It's not like I'm stuck to eating rice and chicken every single day for like 12 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
That would suck.
Yes, it would. So it's a matter of there's a discipline aspect which mashallah you definitely need to have that, and that's the huge credit to Jawad for being disciplined with all that he has going on in his life. But then there's also the component about let's make it flexible and realistic because if you can't eat your favorite food ever, you're kind of screwed, right? So like you're
Yep.
not gonna be able to stick to it consistently. And then there's also like optimizing training. So Jawad also had a lot of injuries that we kind of had to work through, and
Yeah.
so just being able to work on that. I mean, what were some of so one of the first things you mentioned you noticed was like feeling lighter, feeling better, seeing the bloat come off. What were some other things that you started to notice as you started to take this journey for yourself?
Yeah. I played pickup basketball a lot a couple of years ago, especially like before COVID when everything was shut down. And when I first started playing again, I was like, slow, fat, couldn't move up and down the court. One time up and down the court, and I'm already out of breath. But as we went through, I was able to go back to a hobby that I really enjoy. Like, I've always loved basketball. It's always been a sport that I've really enjoyed playing. So to be able to get back to that, not completely to the level I was at before, but still like, being able to move up and down the court, play quick, play for like 2, 3 hours even on a weekend, like that was something that was really like, okay, like this was worth it. I'm not just losing the weight to lose the weight. It's because losing that weight is making other aspects of my life more enjoyable because I can get back to them to that level where I was at before. Yeah.
100%, 100%. And then also like, some of the back and shoulder stuff, that was huge to see that go away. And like out of nowhere, I see you like logging in all these squats, and I'm like, yo, what's going on? I thought we weren't doing
Right.
squats. And you're like, hey, bro, no, I'm good.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like I realized that, having, you know, like before when I was like 175, 180, like I didn't have a lot of the back issues and shoulder issues that I slowly built on. And I thought like most of that was due to injuries, but most of that was actually due to being too heavy for my body size. And once the fat came off, the weight came off, like my squat was going up, my deadlift went up like crazy. I think like we started from not being able to do the bar on deadlift because of lower back pain to now pushing two plates. So alhamdulillah, like that has been like the most rewarding aspect, like doing compound lifts, doing them heavy, and seeing the progress go up because of the weight loss. That's been like really solid.
100%. And then once we get you to 175, inshallah, which was your lightest before you had gained all the weight, you'll feel even better, like, as far as like joints, but also as far as speed on the court, health, energy, everything. So super, super inspirational. So what would you say are like the three biggest lessons that you learned that you wish you could share with the past version of you who was stuck at 220?
Oh yeah. The biggest lesson, we'll start from the first one, which is the biggest lesson is if you want to be confident in yourself and you want to you want to perform in other aspects of your life, there's this saying that your body is a temple. Obviously, as Muslims, we don't take that saying literally, but you have to treat your body like it's an amana from Allah, like Allah gave it to you, and you have to return it back to Him. So if you're putting garbage fuel in it, you're not eating right, you're not taking care of it, you're not, working out, you're not doing these things, then you're not going to feel good, right? Like you get in what you if you put in bad, you're going to get out bad. So if you want to be confident, not just from like a physical standpoint, just from like a mental state, if you want to be confident and be in a good mental state, you have to be putting good into your body, and that comes through working out, eating good, and having a proper schedule. And the second thing is time management. Like, sure, if you're spending 80 hours a week doing work and being with family and studying and this and that, that actually does not mean you don't have time to work out. That just means you either have poor time management skills or you're trying to prioritize too many things and you need to focus on one, two, three, or four things and dial those in before you move on to other things. For me, that was dialing back a little bit on work and dialing more into fitness. Instead of working 70, 80 hours a week, you're working, 75, 65, or optimizing your schedule. So instead of you're waking up 30 minutes before you have to go to work, you're waking up at 5 a.m., working out, and then going to work and coming back and sleeping and doing those things. So time management was really one of the biggest ones. When I first started, like it was pretty hard for me to complete a full workout, just because it would take like an hour, hour and a half in the gym. So being able to move your priorities around to make priority for the biggest priority, which is your body, that was really another skill that I wish I would have told myself when I was 220.
100%. And actually, on the time management piece, have you noticed that even though you've cut down your work hours by about 5, you get more done in the time that you have because you're in
Oh
that
yeah.
mindset?
Yeah, the productivity is insane. Like even when I was working the 70, 80 hours a week, I'm doing like almost like probably like 25% more of the work that I would be doing in like 10 hours less per week. And that's because I don't have like that mental fog throughout the day because I ate trash in the morning or I didn't eat at all. I'm too fat, like it's hard to like I really feel the difference once you make the change. Like when I was 220, I thought I was like, the best paralegal in the world. Like I'm getting all this work done. I'm great. I'm amazing. I'm such an asset to the company. But now I'm like, okay, well, I'm doing a lot more and it's in a lot less time. So therefore, I'm able to take more responsibility for more important things in the company. Whereas before, I was just doing a lot of paperwork. Now I'm really doing more HR, team management kind of stuff. And that's only because I'm able to get more done in less time. So that's kind of the biggest takeaway from that as well.
100%. And I think that's a huge piece that's going to resonate with people who, they are very career oriented. They're high achievers in their career. And just like you at 220, they're like, yeah, I'm the best I can be in my career. I'm a beast. Right. But, to be able to humble yourself and realize that there's some room for improvement and then go and take a journey that actually gave you those results that you wanted across your career, I think is huge because a lot of people, they sacrifice their health for wealth, not realizing that their health becomes the biggest bottleneck on their wealth and on their achievements because they never took the time to really sit and prioritize and figure out a better balance that was more sustainable, but also more healthful, holistic, and again, gave them that longevity and that short-term performance that they needed to ultimately be truly the best version of themselves. So
Yeah, definitely.
So I appreciate you bringing that up. Well, sweet man. The last thing I have two more questions for you, and then of course anything else that you want to bring up. So for somebody who's on the fence about contacting me or potentially doing the program, or getting started with this whole fitness journey and doing it the right way, what would you say to somebody who's sitting on the fence thinking about it?
I would say you've got nothing to lose. Definitely go for it. If it's a finance thing, figure it out. You got to make it work. Your body's the most valuable investment you can make in. The ROI is not going to be in dollars. It's going to be in productivity. It's going to be in confidence. It's going to be in like a better mental state. That is the actual ROI you want. You don't want like, so what, you make $1,000 on your ROI. Like if you don't feel good, then $1,000 doesn't mean anything. So invest in your body. If you think it's too expensive, and if it's, you're just paying for accountability. That's really what you're doing. You're paying for structure. You're paying for accountability. For me, who came from an athletic background, like I could have dived into it and started it myself. A lot of people think like, okay, like I'll just, go start working out myself. Why do I need a coach? You need a coach because the reason why you're 220 is because you didn't have accountability for yourself. That's why you need the coach. You need the coach so you can dial in things that you don't actually know about. Like I'm not a fitness expert. I'm just, an ex-athlete. So if you're on that fence, you've got nothing to lose. Invest in your body. That's the best return on investment you can get, is being more confident, being in a better mental state, performing better, looking good for your family. Ultimately, you owe it to Allah as well, taking care of your body.
1000%. Those are the most important reasons. Plus, there is a financial ROI, because if you perform better and you're more productive, you can get more done in your business or your
Yeah,
career,
exactly.
level up, and advance into your company. And if all the investment does is give you 1x ROI every single year, it pays for itself because you also got in shape. But usually it's going to do a lot more than that, like 10x. Like imagine how much of a better lawyer you're going to be able to be like 10, 20 years from now, inshallah, because your health is dialed in, and how much more opportunity you're going to have and just the other long-term benefits, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely.
So, well, appreciate you, man. The last question that I have for you is, I guess it's a very open-ended question. Is there anything else that you feel that Muslims out there should know, that our viewers out there should know? And it could be more than one thing, by the way, but what are some last takeaways or things that you want to share with our audience today?
Um, Let me think about that for a second. There's a lot. I just need to dial it in. There's definitely a
Yeah.
lot that I can talk
Well,
about.
while you think about it, I'll just keep talking. I'll share more
Yeah,
about what we did while you think about that. So, can you see
yeah, for
the
sure.
graph here? Is it
Yep,
possible?
we can see it.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just talk a little bit about what we did, like actual, like granular, tactical, all that stuff, while you kind of think. So in the beginning, like we just had to get Jawad's form, posture, habits on point. So really, the first 4 weeks we went super light with the weights. Nothing crazy. Just moving around more, getting that blood flow going, and tightening up the diet. And already we lost quite a bit, mashallah. Now from there, that's where we started to dial things in more. So the crazy thing is, this whole way he's gaining quite a bit of strength. So even though like that stat is impressive, 21.3 pounds in 2 months. There was also muscle gain during that time. So the total amount of like, non-lean mass, which includes water and fat, that was lost during that time was actually more than just that 21.3 pounds, because there was also muscle and lean mass being built. And, water retention is an interesting thing. But yeah, and then as we obviously gained some strength, did the whole, our Eid giant cheat day / week, you saw some changes there, but then it goes down pretty quick, because like all that bloat, all that water is just going to drop again quick when we dial back in. And then from there, like we said, we switched to carb cycling since we were in a bit of a plateau after Ramadan. We wanted to kind of get things back into gear. Not that there was no progress being made here, like we were getting plenty of strength, but obviously the weight didn't move much. And then from carb cycling, we were able to milk out a little bit more. Not sure what this was. Was this a cheat meal or something?
Cheat meal. Yep.
Okay, perfect. Then
Yeah.
back down and just continuing to go down. So, at this point, like when we started the carb cycling, that was right, I guess during this time right after Ramadan was when we were starting to hit like some serious numbers. Like I remember even during Ramadan, you started putting up some heavy deadlifts, and that's where I was first kind of astounded with how much you were lifting. But yeah, anyway, so that was kind of the granular kind of layout. But did you get a chance to think about the last minute takeaways?
Yeah, definitely. So I think the most important takeaway from this is, as Muslims, especially if you are Muslim and you come from a Desi background, I grew up in America, so I have that culture, which is, the Desi culture or the Arab culture, whatever you want to call it, that Muslim culture. It's very food heavy, and not just food heavy, but also like it's not very focused on physical fitness. Like, for lack of a better word, white people, they have a very strong like Zen. Like you have to be Zen, you have to be like very physically fit and all these things. They focus so much on it, but I think part of it is because a lot of us immigrated to this country. We have this like, okay, I need to grind, I need to grind, I need to make money kind of mindset. And we lose track of like really what's important. And the first thing is the deen, obviously. And the second thing is, your physical fitness. If you don't have either of those, and you're not going to succeed in this life or the next life. So the way you should see it is, this body is an amana from Allah, and I need to return it back to Allah in the best physical fitness and also a mental being and spiritual being that I can. And if I'm 45 and diabetic because I didn't take care of my body when I was younger, I'm missing out on all these fasts. Sure, there's like you'll get rewarded and you will get forgiven for missing those fasts, but it still feels bad. Like I can't fast any Ramadans because I'm diabetic for the next 20 years of my life until I die, right? We want to be in the best physical, spiritual, and mental state. And in order to do that, you have to put in the work in the beginning. And if you're already a little bit too late, it's never too late until you are dead. When you're dead, it's too late. But before you die, it's never too late. So, don't ever think that it's too late to turn the leaf. Don't ever think that, I'm 300 plus pounds. I can't come back from this. There's always coming back from something. Just like how the door to Toba is open from Allah until you die. Similarly, the door to physical fitness is open for you until you die. So take advantage of it. It's financially, spiritually, mentally, you have to make that investment for yourself. You have to put yourself before everything, and you have to just go for it. You just have to do it. Once you start doing it, you'll see the progress and you'll become addicted to it. Until you start doing it, you're not going to be addicted to it. You're not going to have that drive to do it. But once you do it, you'll be addicted to it and it'll just become a habit in your daily life.
100%.
So I think that's definitely the key takeaway.
It is. It is a huge takeaway. And really the same applies to the deen, because it's like, a lot of people fall off from the deen, but once you come back to it and you build those habits and you become in the habit of praying 5 times a day, you start to have anxiety if you are worried that you're going to miss your prayer. So you pray right away. Same thing with like your workouts and your meals. Obviously, if you have to choose between missing a prayer, missing a workout, miss the workout, make sure you miss the workout. Because obviously one is a greater prayer than the other, but understand that being on point. And that's the whole thing with the modern Muslim, man. Like it's about, eat clean, stay lean, be on point with your deen. Like we build the lifestyle around, work out after Fajr if you can, right? Wake up for tahajjud, make sure you get to bed on time as soon as Isha is over. And obviously during the summer, that's hard, especially if you live in, more up north. But, again, the better you can do with these things, structuring your life around the 5 daily prayers because of the high performance routines in your career that you're going to develop around your 5 prayers. And hopefully with tahajjud as well. I'm really adamant about making tahajjud every single day. Because also, like when you're making dua and tahajjud, imagine how much greater your achievements are going to be if you make dua for your achievements and for the people around you, and how much better you'll be to them, right? Being able to dial in your whole schedule around your prayers is so powerful. And again, you're just going to see the ROI in every area of your life. Likewise, everything should affect everything in a positive way. And that's the synergy lifestyle-wise that we want to establish, not just with the structure around fitness, but the structure around your lifestyle and the accountability around that as well. If we can dial all that in, we're going to build better Muslims, not just making a cultural shift from the culture of eating unhealthy foods all the time and sacrificing our health for wealth, but making a cultural shift towards taking our deen seriously in the modern day and age where so many people do not. And then just taking everything seriously and getting that nice rhythm, that flow, where even though we're taking it seriously, it becomes fun because we're in momentum and because we become so skilled and so surrounded by better communities because we take that leadership in ourselves and we inspire those around us. And inspiring those around us is exactly what Brother Jawad did today. So again, Jazakallah khair for being on, man.
Of course. Well, yeah. I got to say one last thing, which is, you might be thinking, why Coach Munir? I have to plug Coach Munir. Like, why can't I just go to my physical trainer down at the local gym at Crunch or Planet Fitness or 24 or something? Coach Munir offers something that not a lot of people offer, which is he's a certified trainer, but he's also a Muslim who cares about the deen. He cares about how can my clients not only get physically fit but also closer to Allah, and he'll encourage you. He'll work with you one-on-one. He'll dial things in with you. He's available by text whenever you want. You text him at 3 a.m. You'll get a response at 5 a.m. Like, mashallah, he's very on it. He really cares about his clients, and if I had to make the choice of paying some local guy $100 versus paying Munir like $10,000 to do the program for 6 months, I would choose Coach Munir for the $10,000 because that is more valuable to me. Not because I'm only getting physically fit, but I'm getting a multi-dimensional experience. He's the same religion as I am. He cares about the same priorities that I do. So that is what makes it worth it for me. And I think brothers who join, and I think you also have a sisters program getting started up. So brothers and sisters who decide to join with the program, that is the majority benefit that you will see. Not just physical, but also a very spiritual, encouraging kind of environment that Coach Munir creates.
Oh, Jazakallah khair, man. It's an honor. I appreciate that like massively. So, it's thanks to brothers like you coming in and inspiring others and just being committed, because, I got to applaud you. Like, it's not just the guidance or the structure or the accountability, but it's being willing to show up every single day and to show up for yourself. Because, I can't wake you up in the morning and make you breakfast and all that stuff. Like you were the one who chose to go take action. And so, ultimately it's kind of like, Allah could give two people equal opportunities, but it's what you choose to do with those opportunities. Like I actually saw this really beautiful quote. It was, I'm trying to remember exactly what the quote said, but it was something to the effect of like Musa alayhi salam was born under the rule of the Pharaoh and he became a prophet, versus Nuh alayhi salam's son was raised in the house of a prophet, but he still chose to disbelieve. So like your circumstances may be where you start, but where you finish is determined by your choices. And of course, the qadr of Allah, but the way that manifestation of the qadr of Allah is going to manifest is in the decisions that you as a human being make. And so it's, an interesting thing where a lot of people kind of just blame qadr, but then they're actually just being lazy. It's more
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
is your qadr to sit around and be lazy and to watch an interview like this and not go take any action at all? No, it's to take action, because if you're still watching this right now, you obviously resonate. So go take action and watch how that helps you be a better Muslim, a better father or mother, a better professional, a better person, just overall. And so that's what it's all about.
Definitely.
Yes, sir. All right, well, jazakallah khair, bro. Inshallah. Hopefully we'll do another one again when we get you to 175 and have more insights to share.
Inshallah.
Yes, sir. And once again, jazakallah khair. May Allah continue to reward you with success and multiply your success even further on your journey across all walks of life. Ameen.
Ameen. Ameen. And you as well, inshallah.
Jazakallah khair. Jazakallah khair. All right. Assalamu alaikum, guys.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah.